can't sleep, I can't eat, I can't do anything but think about them. And I just want to hug them so bad and tell them I love them.
Greg, what do you got?
It might be true that she wants to hug them, she wants to do this, she wants to do that, but she's eye blocking. There is not a single bit of grief. There's no concern, nothing in the forehead. There's no snot, no tears. It's the worst kind of fake cry. It's Scott, I'm so sorry. You really don't like what I did. That's all it is. This is garbage. Chase, what do you got?
Yeah, I agree with you. So this eye closure is not from the crying. This is exactly what you just said, Greg. This is avoidance. There's no movement here in the chin boss, which we always see when we see shame and grief. There's a hygienic gesture during the crying, and it's not to wipe tears, which is very unusual. So adjusting your hair while crying doesn't look very good. So she's kind of just pushing her hair back there. That's what we call in the behavior business a hygienic gesture. And she said, I just want to hug them. And she has had a tough childhood. And I think there's a baton gesture she does with her hand as she's talking. Her hand's back here. I think it's her left hand. And something that we always look for is things that don't line up. Scott talks about this in a lot of the other videos when a gesture doesn't really match up with a person's phrases. Desmond Morris called this a baton gesture. And what I think is interesting here is that the gesture doesn't match up with anything that's going on. It doesn't match up emotionally, tonally, like with the tone of her voice or the cadence or the words that she's saying. So I would like to invent a new a name for what we're seeing here where it doesn't match up with anything and just call it gesture arrhythmia. I think this gesture isn't associated with sadness or grief or loss or anything there. And that's all I got for this video. Mark, what do you see?
Here's what jumps out at me.
I can't sleep, I can't eat, I can't do anything but think about them.
Then the grooming that you were talking about there.
I just want to hug them so bad and tell them I love them.
I, them, I. So there's way more I's than them. They're a collective. There's not even any names of the children. So it's very egocentric at this point. The male is very different from the female, different rhythm going on, not joining in with this crying, even if it is, kind of fake. He's not even joining in with anything real or fake here. And I think he gives a sour taste in his mouth as well. So I think there is some strong differences between the male and the female here. Female here, very self-centered in the description there. And the grooming, as you say, Chase, it's just not applicable in this situation at all. Scott, what do you got on this one?
All right. She's moving really slow. This lets us know that there's a lot going on up here. She's thinking through what she's going to say. She's not really experiencing these emotions, so we're not seeing them on her face. She's showing us what she thinks we want to see or should be seeing at this point. When you compare Susan with her husband, do this throughout all these videos when he's in there too. Dramatic. And everything is based on feel sorry for me. It's all about me and just feel sorry for me. You're right, Mark. It's me. It's all about me at this point. And when you turn the sound off, as you'll see in all these videos, if you'll do this, she looks like she's retiring from a job somewhere, or these are the same faces you see and the same emotions you don't see that you're not seeing when someone's retiring or someone is leaving a job and they're telling everybody goodbye. That's what it looks like. It doesn't look like somebody who's grieving over their children. It doesn't look like that at all. The stress we're seeing is when she's moving slow and not looking up the camera and not connecting with anyone. So these are all we're seeing a bunch of stress on her, rightfully so, because she's not telling the truth here, but she's sort of creating this. I think she had a pretty good idea of what she was going to say, but that was it. I don't think she rehearsed this at all before it came down to game time for showtime for her. All right.
Scott, I disagree with one thing you said fully.
What?
There's a lot going on in her head. I disagree.
Oh. Okay, I stand corrected.
The Behavior Panel.
If you liked this video, please head over to watch the full video on our main channel.